All right, guys, in this brute shoot today, we're gonna talk about pacing. This is the time of year for you to be becoming a master of your abilities, right? In the brute strength program, in each one of our groups, be it from masters to compete to games prep, we're asking specific things of our athletes in specific metcons, right? And what that means is there might be a particular amount of rest, there might be a particular amount of work. Their sole purpose on specific workouts is to get faster as you go. We will now, in this most recent cycle, start implementing elements of negatively splitting workouts with no rest. So it's by feel that they have to understand round 1 must be faster than, round 3 must be faster than round 1, and round 5 must be faster than round 3 as we go through maybe like a 7-round type workout, right? Whether it's a couplet or a triplet, you name it. The closer that we get to the test, which for 99.9% of people is going to be the open, we will make it more and more like what we at least know of as that test. So it will look more familiar to the traditional CrossFit.com style WODs that you see. Now, the power here is that this protects athletes from coming out too hot, right? Not knowing their own limiters, knowing how to break up gymnastics and reps and sets, even on a barbell. Is it better to do singles? Is it better to do doubles and triples, touch and go with small rest in between? Is it better to go for broke? How long does it take you to recover? Like, these are all lessons that this is a great time of year for you to be learning. I want to share an instance specifically where this week in the competitors class here at this gym, there was a workout that I prescribed, and it was a chipper style workout. 1 round through all for time. The movements were pulling and pressing heavy. So there was a lot of extension through the elbow. So the triceps, the shoulders, and then the chest were getting fatigued a ton. There was also breathing work, but it was very high cyclical. So it was like barbells being cycled from the ground, light to light moderate style weight. The point is, I told the class, 14 people, 5:30 in the morning. There was one goal. It was to get faster on the second effort. So they were going to go through this chipper. They had a segmented amount of rest. It was 6 minutes. The only goal was to be faster on the second effort. I would say 75 to 80% of them failed. Why? Right? I think a lot of it is because commonly we're used to maybe walking into the gym and ready for a great workout. Right? But when you're training with purpose, it's much more than a workout. It's an experience. It is a training stimulus. It is endless amounts of lessons that can be learned in any day that you walk into the gym and train appropriately. When your goal is to negatively split a workout, there are a couple things that you need to definitely focus on. One is swallowing your pride, right? And I addressed this with a group that the majority of them failed because they wanted to start and go as fast as someone else, right? There's going to be a time and a place for that. It's called the open, right? That's called the competition that you're training for. That's called the regional. That's called the games where it's like actually measured, like, you know, face-to-face, head-to-head style competition. But right now in training, like, why are you so concerned with how fast someone else is going when you feel like it's really close to something that you might fail at? When my only goal as a coach overseeing your training was that you got faster as you went, right? So swallow your pride, number one. Number two, know your limiters. Right? A lot of these athletes didn't start too fast. Well, a few of them. I can't say a lot. A few of them didn't start too fast. But what they didn't do was conserve energy enough or think far enough ahead that, hey, I'm not that great at handstand push-ups. Especially after they come after a lot of hand release push-ups. Especially after those hand release push-ups were preceded by burpees over the bar. Right? So they didn't consider the work specifically in the tasks that needed to be accomplished. And what this happened was that they were making great pace and they did a great job to negatively split until they got to that last movement, which was handstand push-ups. And they ran into a stinking wall, right? Like, they had nowhere to go. They couldn't do anything but kick off the wall with frustration and shake their arms out. A lot of them experienced something very similar in the workout that had handstand push-ups in it in the open that we repeated this last year, right? So my point is, there are tons of lessons that you guys can be learning. In your training right now, you've got to make an honest focus on understanding where you're at currently. Because I can tell you right now, if I can make you a smarter athlete through the fall, I don't need to measurably make you any fitter for you to do better in the open next year, right? Everyone wants to suffer and go fast because, coach, I need this, and, you know, I don't feel like I'm in Metcon shape and all this stuff. Great. Those things might be true. But if I can just help you understand what you're capable of, and we can harness your true potential so that you're moving through this workout at the most ideal pace, you're going to increase potentially exponentially through your results in the Open, depending on where you finished last year. And there are other things that we're going to talk about as we get close to the Open, and I'd love to make Brute shoots on how our phases shift as we get closer to that time of the year. But right now, it's all about pacing. So ask yourself an honest question. What are you doing to improve with what you've got currently?